Hello, hello, hello. And we're back with Ask Luka. Today's topic is another topic from the email that was sent out that was talking about, what women and men need most help with when it comes to, transforming their bodies, losing weight, getting fitter and healthier. And one of the top three in both categories was sleep. Now, here's the thing, right? It's one, it's not a sexy subject. Two, if I was talking to you about sleep anytime before the last 6 months, I was a complete hypocrite. It was the biggest, I knew what to say, but I was not living it. So it's utter bullshit. Now, I'm in a much better place. I'm definitely not the best in the world at sleeping, but I'm much better now. So here's the thing. Look, without sleep, and studies show that people that sleep less eat more, indulge more, snack more, and are usually more overweight, and not to mention more stressed out and less happy, right? Basically, our sleep controls a lot of different things. If you're trying to build muscle, lose body fat, and you're not getting enough sleep, like you are shooting yourself in the foot. And the thing is, like, it really always comes back to this. We have a ton of clients that, make changes, but like high stress jobs, they start training, eating better, see some results, and then usually sleep is what stops them from breaking through plateaus because it's just they can't get the recovery in. So stimulus, recovery, stimulus, recovery. And sleep is one of those things where it's like if you're stressed out, it affects sleep, and if you don't sleep, it affects stress. So it's this negative cycle, right? So here's the thing: a couple of different things, right? Creating a sleep routine, and then like changing your environment. Those are probably the biggest key factors in actually starting to get quality sleep. All of these, to start doing them, tough. Like, I'll admit that there's certain that I can't stick to as much. Sometimes it's because of schedules and travel and all these different things. But certain ones, for instance, personally, I haven't. Like I said, when clients start changing them, everything improves when it comes to sleep. So, one, regular schedule. Personally, I can't stick to that one yet, but the body does love a regular schedule because it gets into the routine of starting to feel sleepy if you're sticking to it. Okay, so if you have that capability, you're always waking up at the same time, and you have a job where everything is pretty consistent. Like, this is something that's very important. Like I said, if you got a pretty crazy schedule and it's always up and down, try your best to stick within certain parameters because it does help. It does help. When I'm in Seattle now, I do stick to a time where I'm going to sleep in a I would say in a pretty good range, should I say, and it's helped a lot. It also is when I get up. That's really important. I'm getting up at the same time. Number two is keeping alcohol and caffeine moderate. Specifically, like, you'll see me drinking energy drinks. I'm definitely not cutting my caffeine down, but keep it to the mornings, right? You don't want to drink caffeine after 3, and alcohol is similar. If you have a glass of wine in the evening, here and there, fine, but if you're starting to consume more, it's actually going to really hinder your sleep patterns, which you don't want. Eating and drinking appropriately. Now, you'll have these different kind of worlds here when it comes to this. For most people, I say for a majority of people, 2 to 3 hours before bed, you want to have a lighter meal. If you've ever heard of intermittent fasting, you're actually having a bigger meal before you go to sleep, and that can induce that. I would say the rest and digest. I would say that induces rest and digest. But here's the thing, right? This is kind of like pretty individual. For the majority of people that we've worked with, we find that like a lighter meal, 2 to 3 hours before bed, or a moderate meal, 2 to 3 hours before bed will do well. Because some people say, hey, when I eat a lot, I just can't fall asleep. So I don't want to say like that's a given, but majority of people will do better that way. Also, like, not drinking a ton of water before you go to bed, because there is a tendency then to start to get up. Doing a brain dump, this is one of the most important things, mostly because we tend to overthink about the next day. What do we have to do? Who do we need to talk to? The stress of like maybe a meeting or whatever it is, projects, to-dos. Put it all down on paper so you're not laying in bed, looking at the ceiling, thinking about all types of stuff and not being able to fall asleep. Turning off electronics, that was a huge move, taking electronics out of the room. I was the person that had like all the phones and everything next to me. Not only, like I said, it's the light is usually a problem, right? If you have a lot of stuff that's got blue light, that's gonna hinder things for you, especially if you got anything making noises and things like that. Having a routine of stretching, reading, de-stressing. I like to do breathing drills, like we're fully exhaling for like 5 to 10 seconds, taking it into the nose, and doing like some mobility drills. The thing is, it just gets you into a more parasympathetic, rest and digest, calm, chill mode. So that's huge. And I went from reading any type of like marketing and self-development to fiction, right? Because it's a lot more stress-free. And because you start reading sometimes about your skill sets and things like that, you start thinking about it, it doesn't help any, right? Going to bed before midnight, a lot of sleep experts, and I don't think there's any studies that can like prove it, but there's enough people saying it for me to warrant for it to be important, is every hour of sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours of sleep after midnight. I was horrible at that. I'd be going to sleep at 2, 3, workaholic at night. The switch that I made, going to sleep before midnight or close to midnight now has been, working wonders. So that is huge, right? That is huge. Now, if that's something that you can't do because you have that type of work, you do your best to fit it in, right? Sleeping 7 hours, another huge one. And the thing is like, can you function, right? Whether it's, can you function with less? Of course you can. You can get used to it. There's a lot of different things. But I'd have you consider the quality of your life results, recovery, and transformation when you go from maybe 5 to 7 will be huge, right? You'll see huge, I would say, differences in like not being tired and like being able to think more clearly, being able to perform. And then exercising regularly is important because exercise basically, kind of levels up circadian rhythms, but also like if you exercise later on, you're going to be more relaxed with like falling into that rest and digest state. Now, if you're training in the evenings with high intensity, this might affect your sleep patterns, right? So it depends. Now, I train in the evenings, but early enough to where it doesn't mess with me and my schedule, but that's something to think about, okay? And the last one is shower and bath. And what I'm not saying make sure you're clean when you go to bed, which you probably should be. But here's the thing: there's two parts to this. If you take a warm shower, it's relaxing. It's going to help you sleep. Most people are going to opt for that one. Or you could do a quick cold shower, which shocks you, but then it gets your body into that rest and digest, like more parasympathetic state, which is going to help you sleep. Right? Most people don't want to, it's not as comfortable as the warm shower is. I do a couple times a week. I go to Banya, which is the Russian bathhouse, so really hot sauna, really cold plunge pool, and do that a couple times, and it's the best nights of sleep that I have throughout the week, period. So that's something that you could employ. It really, really does help. Like I said, the cold shower is a little more, you're pushing the boundaries there, but you'll get a great night's sleep afterwards. And the second part of this is sleep environment, right? Keeping your room as dark as possible. Remember, like if we have light, it messes with melatonin because the way that we're programmed is like, when melatonin regulates when we should go to sleep and when we should get up. That's why in the morning, if the sun comes up, the light's up, it's like a trigger for us to get up, and it started changing our hormones and things like that, right? Creating a relaxing sleep area, so quiet and clutter-free, that's very important because it's like there's actually, you get stressed out if you get into a room and there's stuff all over the place, right? So keeping it, so where the place that you sleep 7 hours a night or should be sleeping 7 hours a night is very important how it's laid out so it's relaxing, right? That's a lot of time spent somewhere. It's just like, if you come into a space where everything stresses you out, it's going to be hard for you to work there, right? Appropriate room temperature just means, hey, keep the room chiller, like 67 degrees Fahrenheit is supposed to be there, but hey, whatever works for you. The thing is, like, if the room's too hot, it's not going to be good for your sleep. Obviously, too cold as well. But when the room is like pretty chill, you're going to sleep better, right? White noise. Here's the thing: is white noise helps if you live like in a busy area or like you live in a city, right? And you go to sleep, and then any noise is going to trigger you to wake up. So like a bus comes out, you got trains or you got all these different sounds. That's going to disturb your pattern. So then putting in like a white noise machine is, which I do have one, I just don't use it because we don't have a lot of stuff coming by, but that's going to help you not get up because the white noise is going to keep things more level so you don't get these big ups and downs of noise. And this one is just one that I added as like a bed. Like for the longest time, I didn't have a quality bed. I'm like, being cheap and being too like caveman like, but the bed has made a humongous difference. Like, that's probably one of the best investments that you can make, considering that you're staying, a quarter of your life at least in bed. So, creating a sleep routine and having a great sleep environment are really going to improve your sleep. Now, this truly is, I dare you to test it, because I think it becomes too simplistic. Most people go like, what can I do? I need to take action. It's like, hey, improve your sleep pattern and see what happens. It's like how clearly you think, how fast you recover, how much your mood has improved in the morning, right? How your stress levels are throughout the day. So yes, this is that important. And remember, if it's in the top 3 for both men and women, and how they can improve it, right? Because it's also improving hormones. It's also, improving your hormone profile. It's improving a lot of different things. Like, this should be high up on the list of something that you work on improving. And hey, if you improve it 20 to 30%, imagine what it can do for your results in all areas of life, right? So this is this week's Ask Luka, like I said, because a lot of questions poured in about like, hey, how I see these studies and I understand it, and I feel like that's what I need to work on as well, but how do I improve this? So hopefully that helped. Get your ass to sleep if it's in the evening. Turn off the YouTube channel that you're watching and put your computer screen down, because that's blue light and it's not good for you, because it's messing with your melatonin levels. And I'll be back with Ask Luka and just giving you more tips and helpful answers that help you. Peace out.